No dramas, but I suppose I'll share it on the old Facebook if anyone wants to join us.
Do you reckon the flew bomber in on a private helicopter being as his flight got delayed?
I
Probably.
think I think the plane should have just landed on the centre green.
And made another moment?
Yeah.
That might happen at Buddy Gorge off today, you know. They've
Possibly, yeah.
sent they've sent Bewley a private jet.
Blimey. Well, where's he been?
Riga for GP yesterday.
Yeah, but couldn't he have got... Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Could have gone during the night.
Yeah, I was just
Maybe.
thinking, couldn't he have just flown overnight?
I think Polish clubs do that though. Well, this is it then. This is the last Cab Direct Championship fixture of the season before the playoffs starting on Wednesday. And tonight, our coverage is coming from Glasgow. I know I'm as sorry as you guys watching. As the Glasgow Tigers take on the Oxford Cheetahs by name, Cheetahs by nature. Oh, did I say that out loud? So, as always, I'm joined by my normal co-host, Mr. Dylan Hodgetts, and I'm joined by Callum Steele tonight. How are we doing, boys?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Daniel. How are you today?
Not bad, much, not bad.
Dead. Because there was a nice long period of silence.
R.I.P. in pieces, sir.
And the one person who is missing is the Glasgow fan, and it's not because he's at Ashfield, it's because he's in his dungeon.
To the surprise of no one.
But, yeah, the big news before this meeting, Palmer, no Glasgow in the playoffs.
About time, really. We'll give somebody else a chance, innit? No, that'll come as a massive shock to Glasgow, and they have very much had a below par season to what they normally used to. And I have to tell you, it is absolutely fantastic to see the outroar of their supporters and riders, not of them not making the playoffs. It is beautiful.
And Joshy Pickering was a massive part of that.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
I think Workington picked the perfect team of guests yesterday.
Yeah.
To for the downfall of Glasgow, like with like having the captain and the number one from Edinburgh, obviously a club that doesn't like Glasgow very much for some reason.
And then, why.
And I think obviously to in order for them to get to the playoffs to stop Glasgow, I think it was a stroke of genius.
It's very sensitive. The irony, though, me and Palmer spoke about this yesterday. Joshy Pickering announcing that he won't be doing Championship next year, And his final
Again.
meeting in the championship this season wasn't for Edinburgh; it was guesting for Workington yesterday.
I think that shows just how much of an Edinburgh fan he is, though. Like again, just with the fact that it was a meeting to stop Glasgow from making the playoffs. So I think it was a one last thing for the Edinburgh fans for them to cheer about and be a bit happy with. So fair play to him for doing that.
Yeah, what a boy.
I don't think it's going to be his last match at Championship level. I could see him guesting for Workington next Saturday.
If Cookie's yeah, you could be right, yeah.
I don't think he fits away at.
Oh no,
long
his
that
average
was
is too high to go away in it, but at home he can guest with the 5%.
Yeah.
It's not a bad rider to have in your back pocket.
It's not, is it? And
It is good for working and have someone as strong as Craig Cook, because 9 times out of 10 anyone can guest for him.
yeah, it's very true. So we'll just quickly have a look through the 2-team lineups for this one. Then, Parmat, do you want to do Glasgow?
I'll take the displeasure. So for the playoff missing people, Glasgow. We won't mention it too much. At number 1, that's Chris Harris. He ruins British Speedway. At number 2, that's Jack Smith. He looks like a woman. At 3, tell him his cat's dead. Jason Edwards. At 4, a raging alcoholic. James Pearson. At 5, Leon Flint. Not a lot to say about him really. He's a bit crap. At number 6, Matic Ivicic, same as Leon Flint. And at number 7, Freddie Hodder.
For the Cheetahs by name, Sam Masters goes at number 1. His rider replacement for Cameron Hoops at 2. Ashton Bowden goes at 3, fresh off a 15-point maximum against Redcar on Friday. At number 4 is Jacob Hook, 5 Scott Nichols, 6 Luke Killeen, and 7 Jodie Scott. Should we get Cowell's men to watch for this? And we'll give Cowell the privilege of that. Cowell, men to watch.
Thank you very much. Just before we get cracking on, obviously you've announced the 1 to 7. Don't Oxford Cheetahs have Ashton Vale as the number 8 as well?
No idea, not seeing that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise me, but he ain't going to get a ride anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, that's all right then. Anyway, so men to the watch. So for Glasgow, I'm gonna go with Matic Ivicic for that one, because he's obviously struggled a little bit since coming over to the UK, as most riders do. But he put in overall a decent display against Edinburgh. Scored a pretty respectable scoreline, and I think being up against, no disrespect to them, because I think they're both two really good, talented riders, going up against riders like Luke Killeen and Jodie Scott, he should be quite comfortable, and he should even be able to compete against some of the riders in the main body of the team as well. So I think he could be the key to Glasgow's success tonight.
And just before we get your Oxford one, it's as if BSN knew what we're talking about, because Matic Ivicic is there warming up. And let's just say, let's thank God he's not a goalkeeper, because he could not catch a cold, let alone that tennis ball that was being thrown at him.
I've played catch with my dogs better than them two who played catch.
And Dad Winchester's just text to say he's tuned in. So your man to watch for Oxford, Callum?
For Oxford, obviously I watched them on Friday night, and he was, after a very impressive display, I think I would be daft to not mention Ashton Bowden as my man to watch for them. He's a rider who's had a very strong season with Oxford. He's put nearly 3 points on his average since the start of the season, and he's always put on the record that Glasgow's one of his favourite tracks to ride, and he's put in good performances at the under-21s final there, and obviously won youth championships there last year as well. So he might spring a few surprises once again.
We're just seeing Jason Edwards come around on the screen. That is such a mismatched race jacket, that Glasgow one. It's so confused. And,
yeah, it's not the best, is it?
No. Track looks grippy. Track looks really nice, actually. And I hate giving Glasgow credit for things.
It's I had the luxury of going to the GP Challenge there a couple of years ago, and I must admit I did quite like the racing when I was there live, and like the facilities that they've got are pretty good. So that's one thing I'll say that praises Glasgow.
Mm. And the usual roles will be assumed today. Palmer will be doing comms, I'll be doing heat lineups and results, and Callum will be coming in at intervals to give his thoughts on the racing because obviously there's no other meetings today.
Yeah, what you said, yeah.
And this
And
is
I'm sure everyone loves to hear my wonderful insight.
and this is
we
just
do.
a little bit of a pointless meeting. It's a little bit like Kings Lynn and Leicester the other night. It's just there as a formality, isn't it? And it gives us a chance to watch Glasgow because we haven't actually watched a Glasgow League meeting from Ashfield this season. But I don't expect any of the Oxford boys certainly to be giving it full beans.
No, they'll be wanting to save themselves for the playoffs on Wednesday night, which I believe you boys are covering the doubleheader for.
Yeah, all of us are. Me, you, Alan, and Palmer are all involved in that one.
I'm going to need a kip after that.
If Oxford are watching, please do go full pelt tonight. Thanks.
Is there a reason why for that, Dan?
Just so it hopefully makes our task on Wednesday a little bit easier.
So Scunthorpe might hit 30.
I'm thinking more 25.
Oh, I am low and anything else is a bonus.
That's a one mush.
Scotty Nichols, don't half make sitting on a bike look difficult.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was going to say he wanted to be a red rider on Friday night. He walked on parade in a blue helmet colour, and he nearly got excluded in Heat 4 because he walked up with the blue helmet colour on again.
Oh, God.
Maybe he just didn't want abuse shouted at him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he decided he wanted to be one of us and show that he's a nice person, so he decided to wear the home helmet colours instead.
There was a couple of interesting incidents in that meeting, actually. Cal, it won. Sam Masters and Charles Wright all fall back. Correct decision.
Obviously, you might criticise me for being a Redcar fan, but I don't think the right call was made for that one. I think it should have been Masters because nothing was done on that first bend that warranted Masters to lose control the way he did. So it should have. Obviously, White went down afterwards, but in my opinion, it should have been Masters that went from that. Obviously, he didn't. But it's just a typical one where you see referees just give all four backs for any minor inconvenience on turn one.
I watched the stream and I will disagree with you. Luke Killeen gives Sam Masters a bit of a heave-ho out the way, and that sends Sam in Wrighty's path, so I think it was bunching, although it was between the two Oxford boys. And then surprisingly, and then Sam with a little bit of a ruthless dive on Wrighty in the fourth bend of the last lap as well for Killeen to come through for third for a shared heat. Just hard but fair racing.
To be honest with you, I mean, obviously, the cameras, with you watching it, you'll have a better view with the cameras. But when I was watching it in the stands, I actually thought that Charles was just riding too hard, and he was just riding too hard. He was just going full pelt, putting 100% in, and I thought that Sam Masters just defended it brilliantly, and ultimately Charles White just going into the last corner just completely messed it up himself, and obviously Killeen, rather than just accepting the fact he wasn't going to catch Masters for the 4 and get the 4-2, which would have been quite good early on to knock the score down straight away, but he obviously wanted to try and go for the maximum points, which didn't help us at all.
And we'll bring Callum back in during the first track grade as the riders are coming out for Heat 1. Decent-ish looking crowd for a Sunday afternoon. Obviously, a lot of the Glasgow fans will be disappointed with going out of the playoffs for the first time since 2014, I think it is.
I reckon the neighbours next door just be grateful. This is their last meeting of the year. The cars aren't going to get covered in dust.
What a stupid article that was. Oh no, let's go and buy an house right by the speedway and then moan about the speedway. Simple solution. Don't buy an house right by the pissing speedway. Not hard.
Not hard, is it?
Glasgow off 2 and 4 in Heat 1.
Oh, very exciting for the Ouija's.
Everyone loves Alan loves the Ouija's.
You don't love them enough to turn up, though.
Any idea on the rider replacement? I'm filling in my scorecard.
It is.
Will it go Luke Killeen again, maybe? Same format as the
Jacob
other
Hook.
night? Jacob Hook.
Jacob Hook.
Wonder if that's a sign that they're going to try and give Colleen as much rides as possible.
Would make sense. And Killeen's a rider that, could really cause an upset or two as well. He had the disappointing meeting last week at Oxford, but then he was solid enough at Redcar the other night as well. Hook. No. So, what am I doing here?
I don't think Dale knows what he's doing.
Just having a mare.
Hook, Smith, Nichols and Harris, the takes right away. We go there for Heaton. It's a very good start there off the inside gate there for Jacob Hook. But Sam Masters now comes round the outside of his teammate, and it's the Oxford Cheetahs on a 5-1. Chris Harris now blasted himself around the outside of Jacob Hook. Jack Smith looking to come up and produce a challenge on Jacob Hook. So Sam Masters has the lead, been chased all the way by Chris Harris. Chris Harris doesn't seem to know that Weight Watchers is the other way. Jacob Hook looks quite settled there in the third place position at the moment. Jack Smith trailing towards the rear of the field where he normally likes to be fair, as we go into the next lap. Chris Harris is still putting Masters under some pressure, but Masters just holding the right line, which gives him enough speed to keep a decent distance between him and Harris as we go into the final lap. Can we see any final lap heroics from Bomber? I don't quite think we're going to. It is pretty spaced out now. This is about as exciting as a race from Leicester as we come round the final 2 turns, and Sam Masters has a win.
And that was just all done from the start. Sam dropped the clutch perfectly and got to the first turn. Jack Smith missed it. He's been a little bit off it in the recent meetings since moving up to number 2, but ultimately I think it's been a successful return to championship racing for Jack. The result of Heat 1 was a win for the rider in white, Sam Masters, second in red Chris Harris, and third in yellow Jacob Hook. 2-4 on the night. Nobody cares about the aggregate because it's irrelevant.
Yeah, what you said, really. But yeah, Sam Masters just made the perfect gate, and well, to be fair, Jacob Hook made the perfect gate. Sam Masters was just there in the second bend, sort of just went past his teammate, and it was only a matter of time before Bomber just went round him.
Jack Smith drops the clutch quite quickly as well. He just lifts.
Yeah, there is just a bit crap, innit?
I think he's done well. He gets a bad rap sometimes, but I think he's done relatively well since moving into number 2.
He's been decent for the Ouija's, to be fair, this year to him. And I will never give the Ouija's any more good credit.
This is an interesting rider. The rider in red here who came in mid-season, Matic Ivicic, was seen as an exciting signing. Hasn't quite delivered the goods, I think it's fair to say.
He did well for me in the Speedway and Nations, I believe it was. And, I want to say he was a very high scorer for his country. But comes to Glasgow and he just can't seem to grip it, And challenges smartly for a race, but he can't beat someone like Jody Scott.
I think it's fair to say as well, Glasgow's not the most difficult track in British Speedway to learn.
It's not.
It's it's a fair racetrack. It's a good racetrack with multiple lines. If he struggled this much there, imagine if he'd have gone somewhere like Plymouth or Edinburgh.
Well, he did win a race at Edinburgh. Admittedly, he should have won that race at Edinburgh, but he won it.
The lineup for Heat 2, going off the inside gate in red, is Matic Ivicic, gate 2 in white Luke Killeen, Gate 3 in blue, the guest at reserve, Freddie Hodder. And off the outside in yellow, the guest at reserve for Oxford, Jody Scott, who had a very impressive paid win and in the Oxford meeting last week. I think it was Heat 4 when he was 5-1 team ridden home for a 5-1 with Scott Nichols.
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't that one. Was it? I don't know. No, it was Heat 7.
Heat 7.
Where Scotty allowed Jody Scott to take the
Oh,
win.
against Jason Edwards and Jai.
That's the one.
Yeah, I remember now.
So here we go for heat number 2. Star Marshall walks away, then the tapes rise, away we go. The decent start there for Freddie Hodder off gate number 3, but it's Matic Ivacic that somehow finds his way to the front, being pressured now by Luke Colleen there in his second place position. Now what can Freddie Hodder do? Freddie going round the outside here. Can he get past Luke Colleen to join his teammate for a 5-1? It's not for the lack of effort, but I think Freddie just goes a little bit too wide there. I think that could be challenge over, although there's still plenty of time left in this race as Freddie goes wide again now. The rider in yellow, Jody Scott's nowhere to be seen, to be fair, so it's just these three up front. Matic Ivacic's leading by example, as you know, a rider of that calibre you would expect to be leading. But Freddie Hodder now comes round the outside thereof. Luke Colleen to join his teammate on for a 5-1. Now we've got a big battle on for second place. Hodder leads Luke Colleen then as we go into turns 3 and 4. I don't know if this is the last time or the but no, that is a 5-1 to the Ouija's. A fair play to Freddie Hodder. That was a cracking ride, that.
It was a good ride from Freddie Hodder and a really crap ride from Luke Colleen. Why on earth was he on the inside when Freddie Hodder kept gaining so much speed on the outside? Stevie Wonder could see he should have stayed wider then. So what does he do? Curb crawl.
If Luke Colleen can carry this crap form up for the next week, that would be appreciated, please and thanks.
It's good to see the Ouija's have got something to celebrate. Good ride from Freddie, but a really bad one from Colleen as well, and he shouldn't be making them kind of mistakes really now.
But that would be Matic Ivacic's first race win at Glasgow this year.
Could have been, you know. Heat 2 was a win for the rider in red, Matic Ivacic. Second in blue, Freddie Hodder, and third in white, Luke Colleen. Makes the progressive scores 7 points to 5 after 2.
Yeah, and one of them, innit, you know. Ivacic's made a really good gate, and he was at the first bend before everybody else. Jody Scott was half asleep there at the start. Probably wants to go back to bed. And yeah, you know, fair play to Freddie. He's probably has just been said in a big group chat we're in, probably just ridden himself there into a 2025 contract.
Potentially, yeah, you never know. He did do well in, was it the under-21s or the under-19s? 21s around here, weren't it?
21s.
He did do well in that, I think.
I believe the under-19s are not next weekend, but the weekend after.
Is that at Redcar?
At Oxford.
Oxford. Ashton Bowden's broke down before the start here. No maximum if you can't get that bike going.
I hope he can't.
He has.
Oh, denying us what we want to see.
James Pearson's a rider who's had a good season for Glasgow. Started in the main body and then with the changes went to reserve for a bit. Did really well there. Put himself back into the main body now. I think he's had a relatively good season, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%, you know, and I could imagine him getting another call from Cammy Brown in the winter.
So the lineup for Heat 3, going off the inside gate in white for Oxford is Ashton Bowden. Gate 2 in blue for Glasgow, James Pearson. Gate 3 in yellow, already been out once on the track, is Jacob Hook. And off the outside in red is Jason Edwards, the guest from Redcar.
And if anyone from BSN is listening, please, 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 never ever show us that edit of Jason Edwards in a Glasgow suit ever again. It was horrible. So just awaiting the Smiler to get himself to tapes. Start Marshall raises his hand, walks away, so the tapes rise away. We've got a teeny weeny little nibble there from Ashton, but referee doesn't seem to spot that, and it's Bowden that has the lead now. Oh, and the race has been stopped.
Ashton will get a warning for that.
Referee probably saw what I seen.
Yeah, Ashton was rolling.
Naughty boy. That's a shame for him.
And he will get a warning for that. I think the ref just gave it a minute to see what happened after the first turn, and Ashton was there or thereabouts, so the right decision to stop it, although Jason Edwards had just taken the lead. You're not allowed back into the pits, are you now? Or did that rule get scrapped? Because if you're not, that could be an exclusion.
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
I'm sure you're not allowed to ride back into the pit still. I know that was the rule a couple of years ago. Maybe that's gone now. But
Who knows?
when there's the tapes,
It
they usually stay out, don't they?
was interesting to see, though. I don't know if you noticed it on the slow-mo replay. All the oil and fuel that was spitting out the bottom of Ashton's engine
Yeah.
at the tapes. Maybe that was a factor as why he thought, you know what, I'll pop back to the pits.
If the refs noticed him, I think he's been excluded. No, he's turning back. Nobody knows what's going on here. But I'm sure if you ride back into the pits, you're disqualified if it's tapes. You're not allowed to leave the track for tapes.
Just another manic Sunday at Ashfield in Glasgow.
And the white exclusion light is on.
Yeah, can confirm, according to someone in the group chat. Belgium was excluded because he left the track. Ha 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 ha, that's funny.
And I know you're allowed to leave the track if there's an incident. The clerk of the course can invite the riders back to the pits, but if it's tapes, you're not allowed to do that.
No,
James Pearson's calling for his mechanic. That's some bloody run down that hill, though.
I wouldn't want to be a mechanic up at Glasgow, I can tell you that much.
That's some run down that hill. They need to get a bus or something to transport you down. And we've actually got the right person on the joining us today for the rules and stuff like that. Cal, thoughts on the exclusion for Ashton?
No, I was bang on. Shouldn't be going into the pits if you've only jumped the start. The mechanics can go and do what they're doing with Hook there now, but yeah, absolutely bang on call there by whoever the referee is today.
Wayne Jarvis.
Big up Wayne.
He's not a bad fella, is old Wayne Jarvis. Not a bad fella at all.
No.
Has Jason Edwards got a child mechanic in for him?
It looks like it, actually. I've not seen it before. Just to answer your question before, Matic Chivasic, that was his third win at Glasgow this season.
See, this is what Callum's here for. He does this research for us.
And do you know who the first team was that he got a win against?
Oxford.
Was it Scunthorpe?
Scunthorpe.
There's no surprise.
Heat 14.
Paco Castagna's got some competition.
And if anybody is watching us that hasn't got BSN, you can get a Cab Direct Championship playoff pass from BSN for $42.99, and that covers the double header on Wednesday, Scunthorpe versus Oxford on Friday, Workington versus Poole on Saturday, and both legs of the final. 43 quid for 6 meetings. Bargain.
While we've got a moment, shall we quickly touch on our plans for tomorrow night's pop-up stream?
Yeah, well, we've got 20 seconds. We're planning a watch along to the Premiership playoff semi-final between Ipswich and
Leicester.
them. I thought it was Bellevue for a minute then. I do apologise.
Nah, they've got another week yet. Then we'll bring Mr. Callum back in the track grade after Heat 4. But it's always good to have Cal on because he's really good with rules and stuff, innit?
He gets the rule book and he reads it. Everybody else doesn't.
Luke Killian replaces Ashton Bowden off the inside, who's been disqualified for leaving the track. The rest of the order's the same. James Pearson 2, Jacob Hook 3 and Jason Edwards off the outside. And this you can sort of understand it with this one because obviously the pits are so far up. Mechanics and team managers could normally just come straight out onto the track at any other track, pretty much.
Yeah, well, Glasgow like to be racist to us fatties. So the start marshal walks away then for heat number 3. Tapes rides away. We go to very, very good start there for the rider in blue, James Pearson, and Jason Edwards, his teammate for the day, comes round the outside of Jacob Hook there to join him on a 5-1. So it is a current Glasgow Tigers 5-1. James Pearson there now looking round to see where Jason Edwards is, and Jason's been put under pressure from Jacob Hook now. So what can Hook do? Can he look to come up the inside there of Edwards? Not to no avail at this current point of time. Luke Colleen's about half a mile towards the back because he's a bit crap. But James Pearson showing why the Glasgow Tigers signed him this year. He's leading with absolute class. And Jason Edwards is putting off a defensive fight here for over Jacob Hook. Again, Luke Colleen's still nowhere near to be seen. We've got one lap left to go then of this Ashfield circuit for heat number 3. And yeah, it's pretty simple, this one. It was a tapes to flag win here for James Pearson, and Jason Edwards going around for a decent second place there.
And Luke Killian had a perler of a start. It was terrible. It was like he was going backwards, and I think that was his race over. That was the very quick result graphic there, BSN. Thanks for that. The result of Heat 3 was a win for the rider in blue, James Pearson, second in red, Jason Edwards, and third in yellow, Jacob Hook, who had a lot more speed than just 1 point would suggest.
Yeah, 100%. Another lap and he maybe would have caught Jason.
Yeah, and to be fair, we do have a little bit of a dig at, a certain club down south, namely Plymouth, but after getting released last season by Birmingham in the Championship, and James Pearson went to Plymouth, found some form, found some confidence, and he's carried that on to this year at Glasgow, isn't he? A little bit of a
really
different
has.
track, a little bit different to Plymouth, but
just a tad. I think even the small track in the middle is a bit bigger than Plymouth.
But that move definitely worked out for him.
Oh, 100%. And if it wasn't for Bomber, you could probably argue that Pearson should be Glasgow's rider of the season.
Here's a man who'll be hoping to do a little bit better, because we both watched him in the SGP2 on Saturday and he had a mare, let's be honest.
Yeah, he wasn't very good either, was he?
On Friday even.
Same thing, innit?
It's just the day before. It's all the weekend. Friday to Sunday is all a bit of a blur.
It's always Monday to Thursday. just not a very nice blur.
And Scott Nichols must feel really, really old in this race. Has Leon got a puncture or something there? He's definitely going slow and looking down at the back of his bike. Needs his spare bike.
Something doesn't look right for Flinty. I wouldn't say it's a puncture though. That tyre doesn't look
it's not a puncture. Could be an engine or something. He definitely wants his spare bike.
Chain or something.
It was moving. Clutch maybe. He's messing around with a clutch there. Clutch might have gone. And nobody's in a real rush to get his bike down to him. James Pearson's bringing one for him. He's got 35 seconds to get round one of the biggest tracks in British Speedway.
And he's on Bomber's bike.
Is that a Bomber bike?
That's one of Bomber's bikes, that. Nice of Bomber to lend his power bike.
Leon's off gate 4. If anyone can get a bike round the outside, it's a Bomber bike.
Well, there is that much, there is that.
The lineup for Heat 4 going off the inside gate in yellow, Jody Scott. Gate 2 in blue, Freddie Hodder. Gate 3 in white, Scott Nichols. And off the outside in red, Leon Flint. Scott is a little bit older than the other three. This probably more than their combined age.
Just a tad, isn't he? I think he's about 44, 45, something like that.
Scotty jumped, and he's at the tapes. His helmet's at the tapes. I don't know if helmets is a disqualification this season or not. It never used to be.
This is like red car all over again.
Scott's helmet is definitely at the tapes. I don't know if his wheel does, but I don't know if you get disqualified now for any part of you hitting them. His helmet does, his wheel doesn't. But I think I've seen riders disqualified for their helmets touching them this season. Here comes Bomber running down. Check his bike's still alive. And Scotty's been
Scotty's been
disqualified.
excluded.
He'll probably go off 15 metres, I'd imagine. Oxford are making real hard work of this. And although there's not a lot in it for them, like for the win or anything, and they're trying to ride safe, you don't want to go into the playoffs against Scunny off the back of an embarrassing defeat.
Well, I mean, they can do. I mean, it's certainly leading me into a false sense of security at the moment.
And Callum says like he's unmuted, so he's going to enlighten us on something.
Oh no, I hung up. I left the call and came back in because I couldn't hear you talking, so I thought there was something wrong, so I fixed it.
Oh.
Sorry.
Callum's not going to enlighten us, and the crowd goes mild.
To be fair, Scott Nichols has just proven there that he likes to wall in the gates for a change.
Yeah.
Like red car all over again.
That headset looks bigger than Bartek Blair's head.
Probably is.
Like that one earphone is massive. Imagine having ears that big, you could hear in surround sound.
Well, I mean, it is Bartek Blair at the end of the day.
That's true. I've never saw Bomber run so fast in all my life as he come running down that hill to get to his bike for Flinter. And this delay kind of helps Leon in the hope of getting his bike ready again.
Yeah, I don't even think Bomber runs that fast when it's last orders at the Chinese takeaway.
Everyone likes last orders.
Oh, we do. Love last orders, especially at a chip shop where they've got loads left and they just give you it for nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Flinty looks like he's back on his own machine.
Could be.
That's certainly isn't a Bomber bike.
Bomber's handlebars are quite low, aren't they? And Scott Nichols goes off 15 metres. So you'd have to say this has the potential to be a third straight 5-1 to Glasgow, yeah?
That it does. Glasgow obviously wanting to put a bit of a show on for their supporters. Just to say ta-ta to them for the year.
The rerun lineup, same as before, but Scott Nichols 15 metres back off gate number 3, and Leon Flint back on his own bike.
If you are watching, I'm just going to have a quick look now. Don't forget to drop us a comment. We only buy if you have cake. There's one person watching, and I presume that might be you, Mr. Dill.
I have to keep an eye on the comments, and there hasn't been none. We must be really boring on this Sunday afternoon.
Well, you know, it's either watch us or go to church.
Scott Nichols is in front of the white line there.
Naughty boy.
Start marshal should be telling him to get behind that, but his wheel's definitely over that white line. So he's about 14.5 metres back.
So the start marshal runs away, and away we go. It's a quality start there once again from Freddie Odder with Leon Flint now looking to come round the outside there with Geordie Scott, who has made it round bend 2 this time, so well done to Geordie for that. But Freddie Odder riding the absolute ride of his life, looking round to see where Leon Flint is as well, to be fair. And these two are probably just going to team ride themselves now for a third successive 5-1. Although Scott Nichols virtually caught up them 13 metres, shall we say. As he's just got round Geordie Scott now, and he's looking to put the pressure on Freddie Odder. I don't think he's going to catch Flinty though out in front, although Freddie Odder is riding a very, very good ride here against the rider of Scott Nichols' calibre. Although Scott looking to come up the inside there, no, Freddie holds the throttle on, and this will be a massive boost for Freddie if he can just keep this lead on Scott. He's just got a back straight, 2 bends to go, but Leon Flint, he's checked out, he can go get himself a sausage roll, as he's won this one in the bag. What a ride for Freddie Odder to get a second place there.
And if his first ride hadn't put him into a team spot, that one will have.
Definitely. That was very, very impressive.
Rides. It was very impressive. Feel a bit bad for Geordie Scott there. He was definitely a lot faster than 0 points would suggest. The result of heat number 4 was a win for the rider in red, Leon Flint. Second in blue, Freddie Hodder, and third in white, Scott Nichols. Another 5-1 to Glasgow makes the progressive score 17 points to 7. And Leon Flint's a frustrating one for me. I've been vocally frustrated about his form for Birmingham this year, but he's been sublime for Glasgow more often than not.
I mean, how many times do we go on our own private little chat and say Leon Flint isn't very good?
And he
Obviously,
absolutely flies
the-
for Glasgow.
Obviously, how we talk, that's not on Watch Along, is a little bit more explicit.
It's very much a tale of two halves, isn't it, for Leon's season? He's been below par in the top league, and he's the move to Glasgow has really helped him in this league.
I mean, he did start the championship season quite slow, and part of me still seems to think he's missing home comforts.
And I think now's a good time to bring Callum in for his reaction on the first 4 races.
Hello,
For sure.
boys.
Hello.
Been a good meeting up to now, hasn't it? It's been nice fast racing. Think Matt Achievers. I think it's got some good gating gloves in the Glasgow teams up to now with Freddie Hodder, Ivasic, and Pearson all flying from there. And to be fair, Hodder did really well to hold off Nichols there because Nichols was definitely putting the pressure on him.
And just a little bit of a useless stat on BSN, each of the 4 gates have all had a win. Not very often you see that this early on.
No, quite even, innit?
What's quite interesting to see is obviously Glasgow have half the deficit in them 4 races, and also now, obviously Oxford are in tactical territory, but at the same time they have the luxury of having Nichols as a wide replacement, so they could kind of technically go for two. Like it will be a wide replacement, but having Nichols in now and then another one later on, it would be just like having 2 tactical subs in one meeting.
Yeah. And that is a clutch for Leon. It's in no uncertain terms screwed.
It's not in the best nick, is it?
And
No.
Flinty working with Steve Worrell's mechanic this season since Steve got ill. The last thing you'd want when you're doing this work though is Bartek Blair buzzing around like a fly around SH1T.
I like it. I think it's better than just being in the booth all the time. Obviously, It is good to have the booth to interview riders, but like it's kind of like going back to the old school Sky Sports days where you had them going into the pits, like getting like up to date, like exclusive thoughts and feelings from each of the riders, and you can actually see what's going on around the pits to see what how different teams are managing at that present moment.
It's a great camera angle to have, but then Mr. Blair tried to get a word with Leon and he got about 3 letters and that was it. So I get the feeling Leon wasn't interested in talking at that moment. And he was asking Ashton why on earth he decided to leave the track.
And Ashton's just saying, "'Cause to make Dan laugh because he don't really like me that much." But yeah, Ken also confirmed a scene in the background just before Ashton's interview. Ashton Vale is the number 8 for the Cheetahs.
A lot of work going on Scotty's bike there.
Looks like something potentially wrong with the carburettor there.
Speedway bikes, who says they're simple? I do like
Not
these
me.
pits at Glasgow though. They're not very good for team sort of morale when you've got a big wall separating you all, like. But
Yeah, but it's all right because you've got a little window in each, so you could talk to each other.
nah,
It's almost like being half a prison cell.
yeah, yeah.
And you being in Glasgow is like being in a prison cell. Alan can confirm.
He can't. He never goes.
Well,
So yeah, back to what we were talking about, there will probably, almost certainly, be a watch along to the Premiership semi-final first leg tomorrow night. We've then got the double header on Wednesday with me, Palmer, Alan and Callum all involved.
Woo!
Hopefully Alan doesn't double book himself.
What's our early thoughts for that, by the way, lads?
The double header.
Yeah. Like
Up the
what?
Comets, up the Scorpions. 2 away wins incoming. You heard it here first.
It's been a really good effort for Workington to get into the playoffs in their first attempt at Championship level since coming back as well.
Yeah, I think obviously people wrote them off because they they did something really credible in terms of like they brought into like SOL. Obviously, you knew who they were from like seeing like scores internationally and obviously watching Violas in the GPs, but they did bring essentially 2 unknown entities which no one really knew about. So I think they were written off quite early. But Zishki and Violas have both stepped up and done brilliantly for them, and they fully deserve their playoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely, and they can't be slept on either. They're a very good team at home. Although Pool's no easy task either.
No, they're certainly not.
I think Scotty Nichols is taking the rider replacement ride in this one.
It does look like him in the yellow one.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a question on the screen from a guy called Daniel Edwards, some relation to Jason, I do believe. The last meeting of the year at Glasgow, it is a memorial race. I don't know who it's for, but it is for a Norwegian guy who died at Ashfield many moons ago.
I never knew that. You learn something new every day.
Well, one of them, innit? R.I.P. to the memorial guy.
And this is no easy race for the 2 Glasgow riders against Scotty Nichols and Sam Masters, but they both look really good in their first one, so this could go either way.
If they can get a 5-1 over Luke Colleen and Jacob Hook, they're probably not going to get one over Sam Masters and Scott Nichols.
You never know.
Sam Masters is one of the Oxford guys with gating gloves as well, so it's just interesting to see how Nichols does when he's in this one.
The lineup for heat number 5 then, going off the inside gate in red, is Jason Edwards, paid win first time out. Gate 2 in yellow, the rider replacement Scott Nichols, third of 15 metres last time out. Gate 3 in blue is James Pearson, impressive winner of heat 3, and off the outside in yellow is Sam Masters, impressive winner of heat 1.
Yeah, that it was.
Am I right in saying the only 2 people who haven't got at least a paid win are Jack Smith and Bomber for Glasgow?
Correct, Mundo. But
And
to
that-
make up for that, Freddie Odder's got 2 paid wins.
And he'll probably ink his Glasgow contract after this meeting.
Would not be surprised. Scotty will be looking for some better luck.
Scott
Sam
needs
Masters
to stay
was.
still. He's on a warning for the rest of the night now. What on earth is he doing? He's sat up.
And I think Sam Masters was signalling something to the referee there as well. Not too sure what's happening here, like.
Not a clue what's going on here.
But Sam doesn't look very happy.
Are the tapes knackered? Looks like they're trying to do a test on the tapes there. He's just... Oh, God. Why on earth would you test the tapes when your head's in the way of the thing going up? Oh, God. Paramedic for the idiot with concussion that just tried the tapes.
I love British Speedway sometimes.
Only at Glasgow.
The poor geezer just wanted the day off work tomorrow.
There must be something in the water up there.
But yeah, another unnecessary delay, you would say, although the 2 minutes are on.
It's a very funky clock. Not quite as funky as Sheffield's, with a little tiger teddy bear on the top, like, but it's a funky one nonetheless.
That's not as good as the big screen at Scunny.
What about our electric clock at the start gates?
I didn't really
I
see
like
it the
that.
other night. I did not really see it.
That's because it was turned the other way to the camera.
Scotty's bike won't start now. His mechanic's
That's
thinking
a
he's going to
shame.
have to run him round. Go on your face. Oh,
Oh,
ruined it. This is something that you'll never get from Ian Brennan and Sedgy, who are doing the actual BSN commentary. You'll never get this kind of insight from them. And we're off to
absolutely not.
Bartek. What's he doing? He's spent more time on our screen than the action so far.
Bartek just giving a local advert at the local Premier shop now stocking Christmas shortbread. Go and get yours while stocks last.
Will soon be Christmas.
Oh, don't remind me.
Going back to the comment on the guy falling over, who did that on Eurosport this year?
Pass.
I can't remember, but I do remember seeing it. Anyway, tapes was written then. For heat number 5, it is the Cheetahs by name, Cheetahs by nature, that have got themselves into positions 1 and 2 as they go down. They're back straight and into turns 3 and 4 for the first time this race. And to be honest, the Tigers don't look like catching the Cheetahs. Unless there is like a little miracle that happens, like Sam or Scotty breakdown or something like that. And these two have probably been the best 1 and 5 partnership in the championship all season, to be fair. Hopefully we only have to face them once and maybe twice at tops on Wednesday, fingers crossed and all that. The real race though is for 3rd place, with Jason Edwards starting to put James Pearson under some pressure now. As Jason could really, if Jason went any wider, he'd end up in Armadale. He'd probably be happier there, to be fair. But as I come round then, the final 2 turns of the last time, it's a win for Samuel Masters.
Masters, Nichols, and whoever was 3rd.
James Pearson.
And that was always going to be a difficult race, weren't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We've had a message in from Dan Winchester, who says that the guy who fell over on the TV was Martin Vasilik's mechanic.
Well, we'll have to take Mr. Winchester's word for it.
The result of Heat 5 was a win for the rider in white, Sam Masters, 2nd in yellow, Scott Nichols, and 3rd in blue, James Pearson. Just to claw back a few points and makes the progressive scores 18 points to 12 on the night. And with Scott Nichols out in the next one, do you maybe replace Luke Killian with Sam Masters? Although against Bomber, maybe not. Or do you wait till it's 7 and whack in possibly Sam or Scotty with Ashton? Although Ashton's not done a lap of the track yet.
They've just done a 5-1 against Edwards and Pearson. I'd hold off till Heat 9 and you face them again.
Yeah, that's true.
That wouldn't make sense.
That's if they still have it by then, of course.
I was going to say that's the only risk. They could be further behind, or it'll, so far behind it won't be any use, or they could be out of tactical territory by then.
I mean, obviously we are watching this on mute. Peter Stroke's not the brightest spark in a pack of plugs. He'd probably use Scotty as a tactical there.
I like
Even
that
though
little
he can't.
grandstand style thing on the back straight. I like that.
It's alright, that, isn't it?
It's a bit different, isn't it?
Friday with Peter Schrock has got to be one of the funniest things I've seen on live TV.
Is this the Jody Scott thing where he never told the ref?
So he took Geordie Scott out of the race and he put Luke Killeen in. And then he decided that he would put Geordie Scott in for Jacob Hook in Heat 14.
Yeah.
So So he basically put Jody Scott out and Luke Killeen came in yellow, and Jody Scott, who was in yellow anyway, brought him in for Jacob Hook. So he got excluded because
You
he'd
can't put
already
a
been.
rider. Yeah, you can't. Although that happened at Birmingham in the Premiership a few weeks back. Although it wasn't a nominary change, there was a tactical exclusion. Lewis Kerr came in to replace. No. Yes. No. Lewis Kerr was taken out for somebody, and then Patrick Wadsteller, the other rider that was in the race, was disqualified for a tactical 2 minutes, and Lewis Kerr came in to replace him.
British Speedway.
Bit of a mess in it.
Annoyingly, I think that's allowed, but it
It is,
shouldn't be.
It was definitely a tactical miss of the 2 minutes. He made absolutely no effort to come out. He was sat in his pit bay.
Yeah, so yeah. Sometimes managers can do that so that it gives Lewis Kerr a bit more time, or whoever it was, a bit more time to get the bike sorted out or whatever.
Yeah, and crucially, Lewis Kerr won that race to win Kingsley in the meeting as well. So
Yeah.
it worked. And then Patrick Wadsteller got heat 15 instead and was stone last.
I was going to say as well, Rob Lyon is obviously he's not had the best of luck this season with the Kingsland team, but Rob Lyon is a really good manager, so he'll know the rule book better than anyone, so he wouldn't be doing stupid moves.
It's just a little bit frustrating, isn't it? It's like, it's like when somebody falls off and just lies on the floor when the other team are on a 5-1. It's just a little bit unsportsmanlike. And no idea what this bloke's saying, but it can't be much of any use because he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. Imagine managing 3 teams and still not knowing the rules.
Stroke asking Greg Blair where to find Princess Fiona. It ain't going to be anywhere near Glasgow.
Well, Bartek's hair's getting a bit long. It could have confused him for Fiona.
Or Jack Smith.
Or Jack Smith. He's got a nice set of locks. The lineup for heat number 6 then. Scott Nichols taking 2 on the bounce. Goes off the inside gate in white. Gate 2 in red, Chris Harris. Gate 3 in yellow, Luke Killeen. And off the outside in blue, Jack Smith. Multiple British Championships sat on the inside of this race.
Only a mere 10.
10, yeah. 28 seconds to go, and Scott is off his bike.
Plenty of time that. Well, actually, I don't know, for an old boy like Scotty.
Battle of the old gits in and off 1 and 2, innit? And Bomber's had some dash to come back from the lung track stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I believe he scored 25 in Britain's score. I will tell you what it is later because someone did send me it, but the tape's about to rise there for heat number 6. Away we go. Scott Nichols with an absolute blinding start there off the inside gate. Been chased all the way there by Chris Harris, who's looks like he wants to go around the outside there. Scotty, can he make
Done
this
him.
move pull off? Done him. Nice move there from Chris Harris. I can't believe I'm ever going to say that again. And Scotty looking like he wants to repay the favour, but Bomber knows every inch of this Ashfield circuit. Crucially, Jack Smith sitting there in the 3rd place position with Luke Killeen. Couple of miles towards the rear of the field as we go into lap number 3 now, and it's still Chris Harris that has the lead, still Jack Smith in 3rd, still Scotty Nichols in between him. If you want some toilet paper, you can buy his book as we go into the last lap, I do believe. Bomber's still out there, he's doing Bomber things now, no one's catching him. Not even a Weight Watchers officer could catch Bomber at this point. Nichols blasted up the inside looking to come around, but to no avail, and that's a 4-2.
After the result of this, we've got another story of back to our tactical chat just a minute ago from Dan Winchester, but we'll do the result of this one first, and then I'll read you out the message he's just sent me. And this is poo-housery at its finest. Bomber just waving. Come on, mate, we ain't got all day. The result of Heat 6 was a win for the rider in red, Chris Harris. 2nd in white, Scott Nichols, and 3rd in blue, Jack Smith. Luke Killeen's having one of those. He's either really good or really crap, and today is the latter.
Hopefully keeps it up for the next week.
the progressive score on the day, 22-14. So the story from Winchester, Oxford versus Plymouth. They tried to put Henry Atkins and Ryan Kinsley in for 8:15. The ref said they couldn't do it, so Lewis Kerr and Cameron Heaps both come in. Kerr and Heaps both missed the 2 minutes, and both reserves then come in.
I remember seeing that. That was absolutely hilarious. I absolutely loved that. I absolutely loved that story. No, it was. I thought that was. I thought that was quite. That was one of the few times I actually admired and respected Peter Stroke.
And there's a tactical change here. Sam Masters goes in yellow to partner Ashton Bowden in place of Jacob Hook. And I think this is the race that you put it in, although Ashton's a bit of an unknown because the only lap he did was to come round to the start line before getting excluded in Heat 3.
Yeah, and don't want to scare Sam or anything, but you know they are up against the big Matic Ivicic who went and absolutely blitzed Heat number 2, so they should be shaking like a pooing dog.
And Leon will be hoping that first bike clutch is now sorted. That's a lot of people standing in front of the tapes. Heat 7 going off the inside gate. In red is Leon Flint. Gate 2 in white for his first race technically of the day, Ashton Bowden. Gate 3 in blue, Matic Ivicic. And off the outside in yellow, tactical substitute, Sam Masters. Peter
All
Schroeder,
of these riders, barring Ashton Bowden, has won a heat.
and Sam's won 2. Peter Stroke's
Why
putting
does
a lot
Sam
of...
have to be so greedy?
Yeah, he's putting a lot of faith in Ashton here, and that shows, I think, the faith and investment that Oxford have in him.
Yeah, yeah, that's all I have to say, really.
Palmer as insightful as ever.
It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm on the Stella, on my third Stella of the day. It helps you get through watching Oxford, trust me. So the boys getting themselves into line then for heat number 7. Tapes rising, away we go. That's a very good start there for Ashton Bowden, unfortunately, with Sam Masters looking to come round the outside. Now what can Leon Flint do? Leon Flint just about splitting the flare, but Masters ran the outside there of Leon Flint. Bowden, going really, really wide there. If he went any wider, he'd end up in the chip shop. But same with Leon Flint for the next bend. But these two boys now, they're just going to team ride themselves to another 5-1 now. Matic Ivicic is a bit embarrassing in this one for someone that challenged Bartek Smarzlik once in his life. But they're going to the last lap then. We only have to enjoy this pain for one more lap of Ashton Bowden winning a race. Come on, Dan, it's nearly over now. As he comes round bends 3 and 4 for the final time. Masters looking to come up the underneath of him, but it don't quite work out. And they team rode perfectly for a 5-1, and that was that.
That was a really sensible ride from Ashton, and bend 3 of the first lap, Sam had to slow it down and get it back towards the inside to stop Leon coming back up the inside, and then just left Ashton to his outside line, which, you know, he's really made his own now. And that was as easy as you like for Oxford then, really. And now the gap's down to 4 points. The result of Heat 7 was a win for the rider in white, Ashton Bowden. Second in yellow, Sam Masters. And third in red, Leon Flint. 23-19, the progressive scores.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But yeah, it's one of them.
That game was absolutely perfect from Ashton to clamp Leon.
Yeah, I hate giving him credit because he's not a very pleasant person.
Maybe he's quieting down a little bit now since that you're remembering back to the old youth days, ain't you? A couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, and to be fair, even as far back as last season. Apologies about that. My auntie asked me a question. But yeah, it's one of them. I was never his biggest fan, and every time I've been sort of at a meeting he's always had a bit of an attitude. He's a bit like Kyle Bickley. He had a bit of an attitude about him, although we love virtual Kyle Bickley. He is the GOAT of virtual speedway.
Unless you're Dylan Hodgetts.
Who decides to sack him?
Justice for the king.
Absolutely not. Shall we take a quick minute, chaps, whilst Mr. Blair is going for a stroll?
Go on then. Right. That's the one, Mush.
Come on.
We're back. We needed that little 5-minute break. And yeah, we're back for heat number 8. I'm sure Dylan will talk you through the lining up.
2 changes for Heat 8. Going in white is Freddie Hodder as the... No, it's not Freddie Hodder, it's Ashton Bowden as the rider replacement. And in yellow, Luke Killeen replaces Jody Scott. And there's a seagull going radio rental outside the window. The lineup going off the inside gate in blue for Glasgow, Freddie Hodder. Gate 2 in yellow, Luke Killeen. Gate 3 in red, Jack Smith. And off the outside in white, Ashton Bowden. Palmer, over to you.
Thanks, mate.
I don't know how you do that, speeding through the scores.
Sometimes you've just got to wing it and hope for the best.
And that's most of our life, to be fair.
Me at work that much. Wing everything and just hope for the best. So here we go for heat number 8 as the tapes rise just like that. It's a pretty even start there, to be fair, but it is Freddie Hodder that gets the first corner first, but Ashton Bowden goes really wide there to go around the outside of virtually the lot, and just about now he's just about got past Freddie Hodder, who's been very impressive today. Luke Killeen looking to come up the inside of the Glasgow pair, and he's managed to get round Jack Smith, and he's sent Jack Smith there for a chippy tee, but Freddie Hodder's more than holding his own at the minute there in the second place position. Now Jack Smith looks to come underneath Luke Killeen there, but I don't quite think he's got enough speed in that motorcycle. I say that, and he comes right underneath him, but Luke Killeen looks to come back round the outside of Jack Smith now. The big battles for fourth and third. Ashton Bowden, unfortunately, he's checked out. He's gone. He can go get a bag of chips with some scraps as an added little Sunday treat for him. But yeah, he's checked out. He's away. He's gone. A very good ride from Freddie Hodder here in second, and Jack Smith third. And Luke Killeen is still crap.
There seemed to be a little bit of needle with Jack Smith's pass on Killeen there, but for me, Jack Smith got himself out of shape when Killeen came past him. Killeen dive bombs him, but Jack Smith got himself out of shape, and Jack Smith should be counting his lucky stars that Luke Killeen is a little bit of an embarrassment today.
How long till Jack Smith asks the referee for another chance of rerunning Heat 8 just so he can have another chance? It's not like he hasn't had a million of them already.
Result of Heat 8 was won by the rider in white Ashton Bowden, second in blue Freddie Hodder, and third in red Jack Smith. 26-22 progressive scores, and Luke Killeen is SH1T.
Yeah, it's not very good either.
They need to start naming the outside line on every track the Ashton Avenue or something. He absolutely loves that bloody outside line everywhere. He was on it at Redcar the other night, he rides it at Oxford, and he's riding it here. I mean, if he raced it at Plymouth, he'd end up probably somewhere near Poole or something, but...
I know you said about the Ashton Avenue on the outside line. I'd actually argue the Belgian Bank.
Oh, that one, yeah, I like that. But what if there's no banking on the track?
Glasgow has banking.
Yeah, but some don't.
They just have bankers in the crowd.
That's true, but I mean, Redcar, like the banker that we've got, he's learned how to ride that bank absolutely perfectly to... Like, I mean, one of the rides of the season, unfortunately, was his guest appearance when Ablett got injured, where we were on a 5-1. Mulford decided to try and hang back and see if he could defend Belgian, but Belgian just found lots of speed and managed to go around the bank and take them both on the outside. It was a really good race.
Jody Scott in yellow, yep. There's a reserve change for Oxford in yellow. Jody Scott replaces Luke Killeen. Full line-up for Heat 9 off the inside in blue, James Pearson. Gate 2 in white, Scott Nichols. Gate 3 in red is Jason Edwards. And off the outside in yellow, Jody Scott. This pairing for Oxford are capable of a 5-1 over some decent riders, including Jason Edwards. So anything can happen here.
In the words of Ellie Goulding, anything really can happen. BSN cameraman had a plastic bag on the top of the top of the screen there. Does that suggest it might have started a little bit of rain up in the land of Scott?
potentially. I think there was some forecast. It's always raining up there, though. It's like
I mean,
Manchester.
it is Scotland, innit? It's never nice weather up there. So here we go then for heat number 9. Away we go. Well done to Scott Nichols for sitting still there. That's a very good boy. But it is Scotty that also gets away at the front with Jody Scott there 500,000 miles behind because he's a bit crap. And the two Glasgow Tigers sitting there in the middle, to be fair. James Pearson looking to put Scotty under some pressure, but Scotty's just going that wide. He's just holding the right line. And if anything, Scotty now is just extending his lead over the Tigers. But yeah, that's about all that's happening really. Scott does a little mini wheelie around the back straight, but it's not really changed a lot in the context of the races. We've got one lap left to go with this race, thankfully, because this race has been a bit crap. Scott has got the lead. James Pearson's in second. Jason Edwards is in third. And thankfully this isn't 10 o'clock at night because that race would have put me to sleep.
It's really worrying when you see a rider like Scott going that wide because he's one mistake away from bouncing all down the home straight. And old bones don't quite heal so quickly.
No, they don't.
When you see someone like Ashton who's young, and when you're younger you bounce a little bit easier, but when you see someone like Scotty or Bomber and they're a little bit more fragile, it's always a bit nervy. The result of Heat 9 was a win for the rider in white Scotty Nichols, second in blue James Pearson and third in red Jason Edwards. Keeps the 4-point lead for the Tigers with 9 gone. Jody Scott almost looks like he's shaking his head from the start. Did he know he'd bollocked it right from the very beginning there?
Probably. Maybe.
It is just experience for him, and he's still. You just got to remember, he's not a championship rider at the moment. He's still a National League rider coming in as a guest.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, someone's cooking a curry outside, and it smells really, really nice. Oh.
God. And it'll be interesting to see. Heat 11. They could. Who could take the RR in 11? It's got to be, could be Hooky or the reserves, couldn't it? I wouldn't even bother giving Luke Killian any more rides.
Ashton Vale, here we go.
Give Ashton Vale a couple of chances, why not? Nothing to lose.
I mean, he's partial to a sausage roll, so he may as well have a ride.
Vegan sausage rolls are nice. Ooh, I got
It's
some.
only the reserves that can do it now because Hook was in Heat 1.
Of course he was, yeah. And then they've played the tactical, so they couldn't do it there either. Bomber's handlebars are really, really low compared to others, aren't they?
Just a bit.
I'd have backache leaning down that far, my stomach stops me.
I think, though, his handlebars are sort of almost more suited to long track.
Yeah, the line-up for Heat 10 off the inside in blue is Jack Smith. Gate 2 in yellow Jacob Hook. Gate 3 in red Chris Harris. And off the outside in white, unbeaten from the 2 rides is completed so far, Ashton Bowden. This could be an exciting one between 3 and 4. 2 riders that like the outside line. And old versus young, master versus student. Let's see which way it goes.
Never thought I'd say this, but up the Bomber.
I'll be different then, up the Belgian.
You really don't like Belgium, do you?
No.
Now, Palmer, let's remember, we have to be neutral.
I am. If it's any consolation, I couldn't care less where Jacob Hook and Jack Smith come. So, here we go then for Heat number 10. And tapes right away we go. Bowden's made the perfect gate there off gate 4, to be fair to him. But Bomber cuts back perfectly there up the inside. Now, this could be a hell of a race here up front with Bowden just about leading, but Bomber looks to come storming up underneath the inside of Bowden, but Bowden just holds that line really nice. Apologies, I got me tongue in the twist there. Bomber looking down on bike. That doesn't look good for Christopher Harris there. Whose middle name is Calvin, would you believe? A bit of useless information there. during this race. Jacob Hook's a million miles towards the back, so you could tell he's ridden for Plymouth all year. But yeah, Ashton Bowden, I hate to say it, he looks quite classy out in front, and it looks like he probably ain't going to get beaten all night.
Imagine if he'd not been disqualified from his first one.
It would have made a painful meeting more painful. 2-1-3 knots.
Not many people tail Bomber off there around Glasgow, and Ashton Bowden's just done that with ease.
Aren't he just?
And Glasgow fans will be hoping to snap him up. I think if Oxford run in the Championship next year, I think that's where he's guaranteed to go. It's coming good at the right time when there's the averages won't change now for next season. What he's got now is what he'll start next year on. So the result of Heat 10 was a win for the rider in white Ashton Bowden, second in red Chris Harris and third in blue Jack Smith. Another 3-all makes the progressive scores 32-28. Beautiful gate that was, and Bomber was napping.
This meeting will count towards averages.
Oh yeah, does it? Or was it just playoffs that don't?
No, the playoffs don't, but this meeting, because it's a league meeting, will.
I thought they stopped after the start of September. I thought September was the last ones that count.
No, the any league meeting at any point in the year, because they'll release like the final averages at the end of September.
Oh, okay. So they'll be a little bit up, but not.
Yeah, there'll be like a 5-point average or something.
Which, if he keeps riding like this, I'd take a punt on him, especially with the Championship rumoured to be going up slightly. And all the kids are on the centre green. I'd say that's interval time. Should we take our little interval, fellas?
Yeah, let's have an interval. Right, apologies about that. They had an interval, so did we. Um,
Although we
and yeah,
didn't stop talking through the entire thing.
no. Well, them two didn't. I just drunk Stella.
16 minutes we were off for.
Long interval, that.
It was, weren't it? Rider replacement in yellow for this one is Luke Killeen. So we know who's finishing last.
Wonder if Cammy Brown's had any sort of input on Maticevic's bike after sitting on it for a while.
Gets to the track. Why is my tyre flat? Who's tampered with my bike? Cammy Brown trying to run off to hide round the back. Walking like Michael Myers like he does. He reminds me of that fella off of Mice and Men. I think I've said this before. Hello, George. Is that fella?
Which one?
The special one. I killed the rabbit, George.
Oh,
Is it Lenny?
of my son
Yeah, Lenny. Yeah, he reminds me of him. So, Heat 11, going off the inside gate in white, still unbeaten so far. Masters. Gate 2 in red, Leon Flint. Gate 3 in yellow, Luke Killeen. And off the outside in blue, Maticevicic. Should be a good race from the two off the inside anyway, yeah. A Wolves legend and a sort of Wolves legend, I suppose. He was in the last race at Monmore, so he counts.
And then there's Maticevicic.
And Luke Killeen, don't forget him.
Oh yeah, and he just like exists.
Doesn't Luke Lane have some sort of affiliation with Wolves?
See, this is a grey area because apparently Luke Killeen was a Wolves asset, but Luke states that he never was. He's now an Oxford asset, but apparently he was never a Wolves asset, but it got out that he was, so... But I think he'd know which club owns him, being as he'd have to sign the deal to the club.
Yeah. And I mean, he didn't when they did that year with the Premiership second halfers, he was the
there,
Wolves.
yeah. Yeah, he was there. Come on, mate.
So, tape's about to rise for heat number 11, and away we go. It's a fairly even start there, but it is Sam Masters and that has the lead, chased by Leon Flint with Maticevicic just about to be passed by Luke Killeen. Oh my Jesus Christ, how embarrassing is this knobhead? So, as we go to the lap, Sam Masters still has the lead, and Leon Flint's now been chased by Luke Killeen. Oh, this is an embarrassing race for the Glasgow supporters. It's a good job Alan in here. Yeah, as we go into the third lap, it's still Sam Masters out in front. I know it's getting a bit boring. This is Glasgow, innit? That's all I have to say about the matter. No wonder Alan's boring for us. Masters goes a bit wide there. Flinty tries to come up the inside, but it's not quite worked out for him. And Masters, he's got this one in the bag now. We can go to the chip shop round the corner and. Flint, he tries to pull a wheelie there. It wasn't a very good one, to be fair. I'd give him at least a 1 out of 10 at best. Oh, and that's it. The race is over. Thank the Lord.
And in that interval, we saw why Maticevicic has just finished last. Little handshake between Leon and Sam. Sam keeps his unbeaten run alive. I can't believe you just came out and said that.
Which bit?
The one on the first lap. The result of Heat 11 was a win for the rider in white, Sam Masters, second in red, Leon Flint, and third in yellow, Luke Killeen. That means you've got to take that 0 out and put a 1 in.
Aussie little
that closes
dirty word.
That closes the gap a little bit to 2 points with a 2-4 to Oxford to make it 34-32 on the night, and Oxford, for anyone that cares, are 3 points away from the aggregate point. We do definitely know why he finished last there though, because of that fella who was sat on his bike in the interval.
Yeah, we do, yeah. Yeah, Luke Killeen, the little explicit he's made a mess of my programme, so I'm sure he'd be happy to buy me another.
What a boy. I don't know what that mascot's supposed to be.
Alan's evil twin brother.
Oh dear. I don't even think Cal could believe he came out and said that.
Well,
I
you,
was amazed.
you better believe it, boys. It's on live national YouTube TV.
Yeah, there's no turning back now. More uncut and uncensored.
Oh, I did.
We need to do a bloopers reel for this, for anything like that for the off season. Oh god. Paramedic wants the tiger. Perhaps they're going to put him down. Luke Killian's got back-to-back races. He'll have a bit of confidence after that one, to be fair.
Couldn't have put me down because Bowden's out in the next one.
He's been so entertaining, though.
I'll even give them 50p to do it.
Oh, he is ruining interviews now.
Is there
Yeah, I don't know.
anything he doesn't ruin?
He's a jolly old chap, innit?
He got bronze last night, didn't he, in the long track of nations?
Carrying Team England, were it, or GB, whichever nation they went under.
GB.
GB.
Him and Andrew Appleton, the ultimate GB long track dream team.
Who was in that? Was it Eddie Kenny and
So
Zach Voigtnecht?
Our three main riders were Chris Harris, Zach Wajnik, and Andrew Appleton, and then Edward Kennett was a reserve. He did have a ride, to be fair, but he finished last.
Rider replacement. I heard a rumour actually that he wants to come back and race in British Speedway again, but after what happened with Plymouth, I don't think anyone would be stupid enough to want to touch him.
Who's that?
Eddie Kennett. He's been doing stuff on the Isle of Wight, hasn't he, and the Nova stuff, and he was telling people he wants to come back and race in league racing in Britain, but I just don't see anyone taking a risk on him.
Plymouth.
I think as well, his main issue with him is he doesn't seem to be interested to go anywhere northern, because I think Berwick or even us really wanted him the other year, but he wouldn't because they were too far up north. Like, he wants to sort of stay southern area, so like it'd be more towards like Plymouth or Poole or
Oxford.
Even Oxford, yeah.
Or Swindon if they came back. The line-up for Heat 12, off the inside in yellow Luke Killian, Gate 2 in red Jason Edwards, Gate 3 in white Ashton Bowden, and off the outside in whatever other colour it is, blue, was Freddie Hodder, who's had a really, really good night, 6 and 2 from 3.
Rider of the meeting for me.
Absolutely, cannot disagree with that.
He's obviously brought the form and the confidence he had from last night after winning the National Development League individual meeting at Berwick.
And crashed in his first ride as well, I think.
No, that was Jake Mulford.
Oh, okay. There was a few crashes. Well, I think Connor Cole's had one as well.
So here we go. Then heat number 12 is Go. The tape's risen. Away we go. It's a very good start there for the rider in red there, Jason Edwards. Bowden going down Bowden Bank, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, we all want to slit our wrists because Bowden's out in the front. And I try to find some enthusiasm now. Jason Edwards is in second. It's a big battle for third with Luke Killeen about to give Freddie Odder his final defeat of the night, but Freddie Odder looks to come back underneath Killeen. Now, I don't think Freddie's just quite there at the current point of time. Obviously, there's still another lap, I believe. I don't know. Beer tastes really nice on a Sunday. But yeah, going into the last lap now. This looks pretty settled, to be fair. Bowden's unfortunately going to take another win. Jason Edwards is going to take a nice little second place, and Luke Colleen's going to get another point. So well done to him.
And I bet Glasgow fans are seething now, knowing they've been 10 points up and now it's 36 all.
Everyone likes an annoyed Ouija. Where's Alan when we know he's in the dungeon?
Ashton Bowden got a face only his mother could love.
The result of Heat 12 was a win for the Rotherham Wise. Ashton Bowden, second in red Jason Edwards, and third in yellow Luke Killeen. As Cal points out, another Heat advantage for Oxford ties the scores up on the night at 36 all and gives Oxford the aggregate point. And with Scotty Nichols and Sam Masters in Heat 13 as well. It's a very exciting looking race that for the old neutral with Bomber and Flinty in there for good measure. Them tapes seem to go up a bit uneven. The middle was definitely really droopy.
Yes, the wages, isn't it? You know, bit like Oxford trying to treat themselves to a win.
That didn't look like it went up level.
Then could we see another replay? BSN, please be nice to me. I've had to endure 4 Ashton Bowden Heat wins.
I hope you're not going to be like this with him riding for Ipswich tomorrow.
I'll try not to be. He will get Scott Nichols like champs on Friday though.
Keep him for then.
I'll try.
Thanks.
No problem. Shout out as well to Vinny and Ash who has decided to join us. So thanks for spending the last part of your Sunday night with us.
Callum's got 20 minutes till he's got to go and referee a meeting. So Glasgow, if you could get your shizer together, that'd be much appreciated.
Like, please, thanks, love you and all that from Alan.
Scotty Nichols wants gate 3.
I'll just get the do it, it's fine.
The line-up for Heat 13, going off the inside gate in red. Chris Harris, gate 2 in white. Sam Masters unbeaten so far. Gate 3 in blue Leon Flint, and off the outside in yellow Scott Nichols. Am I going blind, or does Scotty's helmet look white? Might have just been the light from that angle, or maybe my glasses need changing. Who knows?
I know Sam Masters' helmet colour looks white.
It
no,
does
that's
look,
definitely
It does look
that's
pale
definitely
though.
Lella.
It does look pale though.
It's definitely a pale Lella.
Looks like he's washed it a little bit too warm.
That's certainly gone in the coloured wash on it. So, in normal cases, it's a big Heat 13, but tonight it don't really matter. So here we go, away we go. It's a very good start there for Chris Harris and Sam Masters. It is them to has the lead. Leon Flint goes really wide, and if he went up any wider, he'd end up in Edinburgh. Scotty Nichols feeling his age now towards the rear of the field. Harris looking to put Sam Masters under some pressure here, and Masters go wide. Bomber looks to use a cutback. It hasn't worked. Bomber's getting on a bit now as well, isn't he? Flint is starting to come on now as well as Scotty. So Bomber up the inside. Nice move there from Chris Harris. Now what can Masters do as he cups up the inside of Harris? Good move there from Sam Masters, and now Bomber back up the inside. This is brilliant stuff. This from Bomber. Some may say vintage Bomber. As they go into the final lap now, it's virtually neck and neck as they go around turns 1 and 2. Sorry for last time. They go down the back straight, and I think Harris has just about got this one in the bag. Yes.
Yeah. Bomber does love to ruin a maximum, doesn't he? Ruin Pico's in 15 the other night. Ruin Sam's in 13 tonight.
It's only an Oxford rider. No one really likes them. Sorry, Rob Paisley, not that you're watching.
Rob Paisley doesn't watch us.
Don't know why.
No, mate, we're very entertaining.
I agree. I hope BSN's watching us.
These Glasgow lot look a special breed.
Alan's a part-time one of them. You could sort of understand why they're a special breed.
That's true. The results of Heat 13 was a win for the rider in red Chris Harris, second in white Sam Masters, and third in blue Leon Flint. Opens up the gap slightly again for Glasgow at 40-38 with 2 to go.
And as they used to say back in my nan's day, happiness is 40-38.
Well, it is when you look at the lineup for 14, and you'd have to expect that there potentially could be a Glasgow 5-1 here. At worst, I'd say a Glasgow 4-2.
I think Big Cammy will do the right thing and give Freddie another ride.
Possibly I would, because Ivacic is, how do we put it?
C to the rap.
I think this will determine whether or not he has any interest in bringing Ivacic back. If Hodder does come in,
That's
then
Ivacic is
is
done.
yeah. But
Mm.
at the same time, I think because this is a pointless meeting for Glasgow, they'll just let their riders have their allocated rides.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe give riders who they're not looking at next year a E15, so you Jack Smith or you somebody like that. Good dive bomb from Bomber there.
Equally, they could give it to some riders that they want to bring back to intentionally finish poorly, so that it lowers their average.
It's true, yeah. Jacob Hook in white.
Feels like an age since we've seen Jacob Hook.
It does, doesn't it? And he's had a bit of sit up. Ivacic is here.
Ivacic is out.
Boo.
This is where Cammy Brown's lost it for the wages.
What if he goes and wins this? Loses to Killeen and then goes and beats Jacob Hook. Luke Killeen's in yellow.
Don't be silly.
I
Who
think
do you
the
think he
Glasgow
is, Paco?
5-1.
I could see a Glasgow 5-1 here, to be honest. It'd just be typical Ouija's. The lineup for Heat 14, going off the inside gate in white is Jacob Hook. Gate 2 in blue, Matic Ivacic. Gate 3 in yellow is Luke Killeen, a reserve change for Jody Scott. And off the outside, the clear favourite for this race in red is James Pearson.
Put some respect on Eva kicked his name.
No.
He's just a B-Tech Paco without the tash.
And without the B-Tech. CD,
There's only one Paco.
Yeah, Paco's 2025 SGP vision, and it can.
Yeah, hashtag Pac-Man 2025 SGP vision.
Oh, crikey.
That could be an idea for the watch.
You've heard it here first.
What's that then, Palmer?
The GP challenge on the 4th of October.
Could do. We'll toy with that one, we could do.
So here we go then, the penultimate race of the night. Away we go, the Cheetahs has risen. And Jesus Christ, oh my God, Matic Ivacic's made a start, but don't worry, he's not winning. Jacob Hook. Jacob Hook has the lead, followed by Ivacic with Pearson making a really nice move, the underneath there of Luke Killeen there. Matic Ivacic's fair play with his having a go, but Jacob Hook, he can basically go get himself a cheeseburger with chips. I think he's
gonna
got
kill
this
him.
one but, in the back. In the bag, sorry. Ivacic's now looking to go around the outside with Jacob Hook, and yeah, it's not really working. Jacob Hook now, he could definitely go check out, get himself some fish and chips. Maybe even treat himself to some curry sauce because he's got this one definitely in the bag to a point. I'm about to write his free in the programme. All right, Luke Collins not in there already because he's a bit crap. It's just a battle of who's going to get second, and that's going to go to James Pearson, showing that Matic Ivacic really is the worst rider in Glasgow history.
And James Pearson looked like he was getting a bit frustrated behind Ivacic there. He seemed to give him the good old heave-ho on the third lap to get him out of the way. And I think Ivacic holding Pearson up gave that win to Jacob Hook.
I disagree with that.
The result of Heat 14, it was a win for the guest in white, Jacob Hook, second in red, James Pearson, and third in blue, Matic Ivacic, for probably his last ride as a Glasgow Tiger ever. That makes the progressive scores 43-41 with one heat to go, aggregate points sewn up, heat advantage for Oxford 5-1 will give them the win on the day. 4-2 will give us a draw, but I don't think there'll be a super heat because nobody cares. Yeah, there will be a super heat, unfortunately. Anything else and Glasgow win.
I know you're not a fan of Matic Ivacic. However, can you not remember when they had Cal McDade as the reserve?
No. Oh, what? When was that?
Right, you're talking somebody years ago back now, Mr. Steele.
Oh,
It's Cal
this,
showing his age here.
I think I just about remember him because if I remember right, he doubled up with the Boston Barracuda Braves in the Conference League.
I don't think it was quite that long ago, but it was. I think it was like. I think it was like 2009. I thought he was at the Buxton Hitmen,
That was way
but
before my
It
time.
might have been actually. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna Google this. I do remember the name associated with Boston in the Conference League back in the day.
Get on Wiki, that's never wrong, because anyone can edit it.
Oh no,
Let's see.
we've got some
Oh, the big
rider
rider
database.
database, yeah.
He didn't ride for Glasgow at all. He was born in Glasgow.
Oh, that's probably where I've got it.
He uh, he rode for Kings Lynn in 2007 and 2010. He rode for the Isle of Wight in 2007. He rode for Sheffield in 2007. He had a few years break, then he signed for Kings Lynn again in 2010. Then they decided it was crap, so he went to Newcastle, did one meeting there, then he decided it was crap, then he went to Edinburgh, who saw the season out there, decided it was crap, and he's never ridden again.
Oh,
Oh,
Big shout out to Speedway Riders' history and results for them stats.
there was someone that Glasgow have had that was diabolical though.
Matty Jivicic. Jack
Cammy Brown.
Smith. Cammy Brown. It's very rare Glasgow get a team wrong. They've got the money to get it right. It's just, you can't polish a turd, and they've got an idiot as a team manager. You could give him Bartosz Marslit, Ty Woofenden, and he'd still piss it through his hands like sand.
He's not the brightest spark in a pack of plugs, is he?
Quick Bartek run, he's going to put his Michael Myers boiler suit on and start chasing you.
He'll be chasing Belgium to get that contract signed for next year before Peter Shrek gets one under his nose.
I definitely feel like Belgium's a project for Oxford, a bit like Killeen as well.
That's what shocked me about him not going back there next year, unless they are already aware of that and they've brought Colleen as a rising star for that reason.
Potentially, nothing's confirmed yet, obviously, but one hears things. Cammy Brown looks depressed. Well, it's probably going to be Bomber and... Ooh, who does he put in? Bomber and Flinty, I'd assume. Yeah, Bomber and Leon. Pearson, possibly, yeah. I'd maybe give it Flinty. I think he's just looked a bit quicker.
Don't think so.
Oh, Palmer, don't think so. And
No shagging.
he's just came out with that
Jesus
on the
Christ.
stream.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Apologies about that. I was just saying to Tara to be anti because she's going out on a date.
Yeah, we heard.
Sorry.
On the stream as
On
well.
the stream.
Well, we've got to make them entertaining somehow.
Oh, God. Right, we might be back tomorrow unless Palmer's been sacked.
It's alright. I'm already typing up my P45.
Thanks.
No problem.
To give to yourself.
Yeah, saves on postage, doesn't it?
Get Maxwell the dog to give it, because he really don't like you either.
I know he really likes me. It's just the other way round.
He's just biding his time to bite your bits off. Well, I get the feeling whoever won the toss and decided 1 is going to be a bit disappointed when they get stuck with 1 and 3 here, because 3's been crap.
Yeah, it's certainly not been very good, like, has it?
Ashton and Sam maybe for Oxford. I think 13 Scotty probably rode himself out of heat 15, to be honest.
That is the guy who the last race of the season goes to. That's Savine Harlard Casser, who died at Hampton Park back in the day. So a little bit of useless information for you there.
That's a nice touch, sir. Fair play. I really like that stand.
What, the one where it's in front of the pits?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
looks fun. Belgians in yellow.
Oh yay.
Masters and Belgian, maybe.
I'd say it'll be Sam and Ashton probably. Give Scotty the rest. Scotty's not got an helmet on, so it's not him.
And then to be fair, I'd probably go Bomber and Pearson.
Leon's in blue.
Or maybe not. Ignore me.
You would, Cammy won't though. Bomber's in red. And it's bound to be Masters in the old white.
Oh, what? I've already written Geordie Scott in.
Ashton Vale finally gets his chance. Sam Masters is in white. And obviously with us watching it on mute, Scotty Nichols is pushing Ashton. Has Ashton gone to this meeting today about a mechanic?
What's up, Mr. Dill? You cut out a minute there.
Has Ashton gone to this meeting without a mechanic? 'Cause he's been wheeling his own bike out. Scotty Nichols has just pushed him off for 15.
He has got a mechanic with him, but maybe knowing how Ashton's attitude can be, maybe he's angered his mechanic. His mechanic said, no, I'm going home.
What's Bartek talking about? Show us the racing. The 2 minutes are on. And after this one, we'll quickly run through the individual scorers and then just run down what our watch-along schedule looks like for the coming week. So I hope you've got it noted down somewhere, Palmer. Glasgow are off 1 and 3. Ashton off gate 4 again now. That's an exciting prospect. Oh, Callum.
Sorry.
Oh, we've had it all this stream, haven't we?
Oh god, this one's going to have to get deleted, I think. Callum's not coming back again.
At this rate, neither am I.
Yeah, me and Alan will run the show. Oh god, imagine that.
Alan, if you're watching, that was a joke.
Was it though? The line up for hit 15, going off the inside gate in red for Glasgow is Chris Harris. Gate 2 in white, Scott Nichols. Sam Masters, begins with an S, we was close enough. Gate 3 in blue, Leon Flint, and off the outside in yellow, just shouting at himself, Ashton Belgian.
I can't tell which mascot's scarier, the Glasgow one or the Berwick one.
None of them are as bad as the old Wolves one that looked like a drowned cat.
So, the tapes has risen then for the final race of the afternoon. It's a very good start, so surprising no one. For Samuel Masters, and who's been pushed all the way down by Chris Harris. Leon Flint's holding off the challenge of Ashton Bowden for the time being, but Bowden looks like to have done plenty, as in... well, he has now. If Bomber goes much wider, he's going to end up in Edinburgh. And Flinty now looks to come up the inside there of Bowden, and Harris up the inside there of Masters. Good race this 8:15 to finish us off. Now Masters back up the inside of Harris. Oh, this is giving me an old reminder of a race Nigel Pearson commentated on many, many moons ago. It's neck and neck as they go down the back straight. And it's just about Harris now that has the lead. Masters in second now. The big battles for third with Bowden and Flint. Flint go really, really wide there. But it's still on Bowden's back wheel. One mistake for Bowden and Flinty will be there. But it's going to be a win for Bomber.
Belgian's got third.
And Belgians after heat first race maximum is ruined.
And the fans are celebrating as if they've won the Premier League, the Championship.
And they have not, because they missed out on the playoffs, because they are blank.
Not very good.
Yeah, that one. Although we've had Palmer talking about shagging and Cal burping, so a little sweary there might not be too out of place here.
It's not the worst thing to happen.
Oh, God. Glasgow win their final home meeting of the season, but with an Oxford team that, let's be honest, probably weren't giving it as much as you'd have expected with the playoffs coming up this week. Glasgow are celebrating, like Palmer says, like they've won the league. How embarrassing.
Well, we've got to celebrate something.
Bomber's going around patting the badge. Is this a farewell lap for Bomber?
Yes.
Could this be a farewell lap? It certainly seems like it. That feels like a farewell.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Cal?
I think he's just saying thanks to the. I think, yeah, maybe him saying thanks to the crowd. Maybe because he's had a good year there, hasn't he? A good couple of years there because he was part of the winning team.
He doesn't really like to stay in one place for too long, though, does he?
No.
He has
To be
bounced
fair,
around a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if him and Masters are in both the Oxford teams next year.
Potentially, yeah.
Especially with Bomber being like a Midlands-based rider, and it works better for him from a travelling point of view because obviously it means that he can travel on a Friday to long track events.
There does seem to be a bit of a feeling that Ben Cook may not be back at Poole next year, and we all saw last week how Bomber rides Wimborne Road. Could he be going back there to partner Richie Worrell at Heat Leader there? Sorry, Richard
Richie Worrell?
Lawson.
Maybe Poole's another track that. Well, to be fair, I think
Bomber
Bomber
likes any track,
likes
doesn't
all
he?
tracks. He'll just race anywhere.
Yeah.
Give him some shit. Give him some shale in his back garden. He'll ride around that for 4 laps.
Rob cruises bike and off he goes.
Yeah.
And he's got the he gets that plaque for winning the last race, the memorial race.
And I would assume that lovely lady next to him will give him that envelope with potentially a cheque for 50p in it.
He's getting all the gifts here.
Maybe that's his P45.
Well done, Bomber. There's a trophy. Now go to your next club. No doubt we'll see Bomber at some point in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll guess for somebody, no doubt.
Won't be for Glasgow.
Where's he shoving that?
Oh God, what's he doing here?
Oh Jesus!
He just didn't want to walk back to the pits, did he?
Oh, you lazy. So he's going across. He's going grass tracking. Oh no, Bartek Blair wants him now.
Is he going to get interviewed on BSN on his bike?
Could this be a farewell message? Should we just mute up for a second, listen in, see what he says?
Go on.
Right then, Mr. Palmer, do you want to quickly run us through what's to come for us this week?
So this week, tomorrow we have Ipswich versus Leicester in the Premiership playoffs. Then on Wednesday we have a double header. Are you lucky, chaps and chapettes? Where myself and Callum will be covering Poole versus Workington, and then Dylan and Alan will be covering the disappointment of Oxford versus Scunthorpe. And then I don't know what we're doing if we're doing the Thursday playoff meeting in the Premiership. That's still to be determined. And next Saturday, so that's 6 days' time, we are planning to do the Workington versus Poole second leg.
That we are. And that's the BSN schedule, which is pretty much everything we're covering, barring the Championship League Riders Championship.
And Scunthorpe versus Oxford on Friday, because I'll be there.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do that one with Alan.
I'd rather die.
There we go.
But we have got a busy end to the season to come. We've also got plans for an off-season programme, which is quite fun, which will all be revealed soon. We'll also have a bit of news on our D&D Media's first sponsored rider, I suppose. First sponsored person for next season. That will be coming on tomorrow before the Ipswich stream.
Yeah, that it will. Some exciting news, and an exciting winter coming ahead. Just so when Real Speedway sort of just goes out the back of your mind, we're there to bring it back.
And it's been good having Cal on, even though he decided to burp. We've had Shrek on the TV and Shrek in the chat with us.
It's been a pleasure, boys. It just shows how comfortable I am doing this now. I was able to burp live on YouTube.
God. And we all think Alan's the professional one. I'm starting to question that now. Alan's probably sitting there playing with his willy. I'm not the least professional. Yes! He's excited.
Don't be daft. Alan wouldn't have watched this.
That's true, yeah. I think that's probably about time for us to wrap up, and we'll be back tomorrow night.
That we will. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. If you do want to watch it back, go back and have a laugh before Dylan inevitably deletes it and ruins our fun. But yeah, from myself and the crew here, have a very good Sunday evening.